Hi everyone, this is Kelly Giese, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And this is my last card for the month of October. I know it's going to look very springy to a lot of people, but you know, there are some people who just like spring colors all year round, and I happen to be one of them. So I have created a card today using the translucent florals, but Stampin' Up! Came out with this beautiful designer series paper that goes with that stamp set and bundle, and it is called Delightful Florals, and it's in the online shop. So if you're looking for it, that's where it's at. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. So I thought I would share what the paper looked like. So this one is that side, and it comes up with the lemon lollies thing. Then we have the leaves, and then this is hard to see, but it's like it's almost a Lost Lagoon. It's just very, very, very pale. This is the paper we're going to use today for our card, and this was the back side of it. So the front sides are all the florals, and then the back sides are these beautiful, like watercolored colors. So that's the pretty peacock. And again, look at that. Isn't that just stunning? I mean, this would make a great background for cards too. I just think the flowers are beautiful though. And then this is the last piece of it. If you have the dies that go with this, they do not work with this paper. But this is simple enough to fussy cut out if you wanted to. But I just think it's gorgeous with the fresh frieza on the back. So I'm sure you would like to see the card that we're going to do today. So let me bring that forward for you. This is the card we're going to make. Now this particular card I believe I got from Sharon Anderson, or she did it in one of the Creative Aids, or I'm pretty sure it was Sharon Anderson that I got it from. But it could have been somebody else in that group of the Creative Aid team, even when Lisa Curcio was still part of the team. So it's an older card. I think it was like 2 years ago they introduced it, but it's a fun fold. So what I like about this is you have the sentiment on the front, and you could put something here if you like, and then you have a little spot inside. So it's like a double fold card. I just think it's precious, and this paper is really nice. Now if you have my card kit, you do not have to make it as big as this. I just made it that big, and it could be more. I just wanted that part to just pop a little bit, and the rest was a little busy, so it toned it down a little bit. So let's get started, and this is what I did to the envelope here, like this. So if you're watching this and you want the information on what I did for my card, this is the card base. I'll just write this on here, card base. And this is how I make my patterns. I use a piece of white, and then I just kind of build it, and then I put the instructions on the back of it. That way I remember it. But if you want to copy that or take a screenshot, this is your chance to do that. I just happen to like doing that. That's how I keep my cards. So let's get to what's in your packet. So in your packet, you will have 3 little sequins, and you will also have your card base. Okay, it looks very similar to one of the other card that we made that went like this, but it's not the same. So this piece, your card base is, I'll just flip it this way, it makes more sense to me to do it like that. So this piece is 4 1/4 by 8 1/2, and you're going to score it at the 5 1/2 mark right here, or 3 inches from the one side. Either way you want to look at it. You will have a second card base. This card base is 8 inches by 3 inches, scored at 4. Okay, and you're going to burnish these with your bone folder. And I would burnish them really good, because this card likes to pop open when you finally make it. So those are your bases. You've got your 3 sequins. You have a little white scrap. Now you could punch this, you could do any kind of sentiment you want with this, but this is for the sentiment. This is for the inside. This is for the underneath the sentiment on the front. This one is for the long panel this way, and this is for the underneath. So let's get putting this together. It's pretty fast. We'll do the stamping towards the end. I'll glue all these together first so that we've got them together in a way that it makes sense. So let me start off my seal. You know, the seal sometimes likes to be a little bit persnickety. Doing that Z with a couple little extras on it. And I chose a non-directional paper, and I did that on purpose so that you can't really get it upside down. You know, you can just, it's just easier if you're using non-directional paper. You can do it with the directional. You just want to make sure you're laying it all the same. That's the only thing. Okay, so that's my card base right there. And then this one here is going to go on here. So let's adhere that one. Me and my Z's. I like Z's. And what I do with this is I just kind of try to eyeball it so the top is about the same. Like that. I hope that makes sense with what I was talking about. I'm talking about this little part here. So it kind of looks like it's framed. Okay, so that's your one card base. Your second card base, we are going to put this piece on the front side. And I have a glob of glue there. And I don't know where that glob came from, but I'm going to pick the glob up so that it's not making a bump in my card. And again, we're going to go, I'm going to flip this over. And I flipped it over just because the fold is just a little bit off. And this way the bigger piece is on top. Okay. Then on the inside of here is where we're going to put this piece right here. So let's put that down. And I know it seems silly that I flip over a piece of white paper like there's a top and a bottom, but I do. I think that's just how I am. So there we go. Well, that's a little crooked. Let's see if I can get that off of there. Or if I really adhered it well. Oh. Sometimes, if you don't press it down too hard, you can get it back up. Whenever I do this, I put adhesive on again. It's just like the first adhesive has a little bit of, I don't know, dust on it or whatnot. So I'm going to adhere this a second time, see if I can get it straight. Because it was not straight before, that's for sure. That is a little bit better. It's going to have to hold. So, here's the tricky part, and here's where I'd like you to use glue. So, I'm going to put glue on the back side of my little piece. Okay, and this is the trickiest part of the card, and it's really not all that hard. Okay. So, what you want to do is you want to open this up, and you want to place this so it looks like it's going to be right where, you know, right in the middle. Move it up to where you think it should be. Get it as straight as you can, and then set it down. Now, if it's not straight because you've used glue, you got a little bit, a minute or two to zhuzh that. Okay? And we're just going to let that be while we do all our stamping. So this is how our card opens up. If you have a spot that's lifted on the inside like that, let me grab Let me grab something to put under there. This. Usually I take a little strip of something. I put a little bit of glue on it. And I put it underneath. Now this is actually copy paper, so it's not as thick as like a cardstock, but it will work. So I put a drop on here, and we'll put this underneath here. There we go, and I just pull it out, and that way that corner is now adhered. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to burnish it a little bit on the back side. Make sure everything's stuck. Put that over here. Now I'm going to make my sentiment, and I am going to do my envelope. So to do that, we're going to grab our stamps, and the nice thing is all the stamps I'm using happen to be, where's the one I want here? It's this guy, happy birthday. I'm using the Go-To Greetings. Fabulous stamp set, fabulous. Like, I use it so much. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp this, and we're going to put a flower on there. And I'm going to change it up. My last one happens to be in Petal Pink, but I think this time I am going to pull, I think I'm going to pull the Fresh Freesia this time. We'll try it with a Fresh Freesia. So the flower is going to be Fresh Freesia. And I'm going to put it up here on the side. Ah, that's so pretty. Such a pretty color. Now I'm going to take some pretty peacock, and I'm going to put a stem on there. And I am going to take my messy paper, because I'm going to stamp probably off of there. So I just want to take this and stamp it as best I can for a stem. Pretty good there. I will take that. I'm going to set that aside for a second. And now we're going to do our leaves. Now, when I did the leaves on here, I used the lemon lolly and peacock, and I'll show you how I did that. So let me open up the lemon lolly. Lemon lolly. And I'm going to put my leaves on here like that. And then I didn't quite do that right. Normally I dip it into the peacock just a little bit. So let's see if I can line it up with a guesstimation. We'll see how this turns out. And it did not turn out very well. The good news is I have another side of my paper. So I will stamp this off. I'm going to get that peacock off of there. I may have to clean that real quick. Let me clean it. I like it when I make mistakes. You get to see that I do not do this. I don't have it perfectly edited or anything. You get to see that I am very human about the whole thing. The whole thing. So let me do my freesia flower again. And like I said, you got two sides to the paper. If you mess up, flip it over. Use the other side. Okay, and let me grab my stem on here. And that's okay that it's not perfect, because it's actually going to be covered up by words. So now let's do the lemon lolly. So we do lemon lolly a little bit here. And then I come over here and I lightly tap my stamp around with some of the peacock, okay? Not a lot, just a little bit. There we go. And now I'm going to put my leaves on here. And now you get both colors. I was trying to mimic the little leaf in here. And I think I did a pretty good job. You know, some people would use daubers, some people would use the markers. Sometimes if I just am very careful, I can do it the way I just did it. Now, I always go the lightest color into the dark because you won't see it in the dark. And that's why I did that. The other thing I need to do is put my happy birthday on here. So I did that in Peacock. So we shall come through here and we shall make this say happy birthday. We shall commit. And there we go. I think that turned out lovely. So we're going to let that happen. Now I'm going to adhere this to my card base. And you're going to see me do something really interesting once this is on. So let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this on. Again, it's about 1/8 of an inch all the way around, as straight as I can do it. Okay, pretty good there. But I'm going to take my burnisher and I'm going to go along the edge of this, because when I cut this, it cuts down into the paper and it leaves a little ridge. But if I come through with my burnisher on that edge, you know, with my bone folder here, I can get rid of that flipped up edge, and now it looks correct. The only thing we're missing now is the little sequence, and let's see, where's my tool? Oh, there it is. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to put one there. I'm going to put one over here. And the only thing I didn't do is I did not stamp my envelope. But I think you have the idea of how I did it, and that is my card. And if I had stamped my envelope, it would look something similar to this and this. It's just putting the flower on, nothing different. So that's the pink one. This is the fresh freesia one. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.